Снайпер! Картах! Прикрой меня! Я должен перезарядиться!
Alright, folks. We are done with the lower tiers, quote unquote. And let's clean them up and cross them out. But high tiers are tier 10s and tier 11s, more or less. 2 skins for vehicles we already covered, 2 tier 10s, and 3 tier 11s. Now, we already covered this vehicle last time, the M58 with the XM152 launcher thing, similar to the Sheridan or the Starship, but it has a skin with tail lights, the Firebird. There's a counter similar to a assembly shop, but yeah, free camera is broken, so I cannot zoom in on the sculptures and ornaments and details. But yeah, there's a counter. It's tied into this mechanic, which is getting kills. Alright, so it's like the tier 11s, the hood ornaments that gets a counter for LED in number of kills or something. I don't know how it works. You can read acrylic or Russian, you can tell me, but alright. It's the same gun. It's a low velocity, like 200 meters per second derp gun practically, but yeah, rockets. Unguided rockets are not great. At least a tube launch wire guided missile, right? But that would be kind of OP when everything doesn't have like, well, technically you already have a laser rangefinder. You don't have like infrared optics or something, I don't know. Or even like active kill system, I don't know. Alright, too much fancy stuff. So it's like a larger Astron REX with a derp gun, practically. So I already covered this vehicle. You can go back to the original video for 1.38 on the M58, but this vehicle came out last year for Holiday Ops, I believe. Gendarme 120. It's like a Schneider SFAC 120 with 16 rounds of a 120mm gun. So basically 2-round burst for 8 times total, 16 rounds total of damage, but now it has a night skin, I guess, with fancy engravings. Means absolutely nothing, gives you no tactical advantage whatsoever, but engravings. So is that robes or like monk robes or knight robes? I don't know, but yeah, should be 16 rounds. Yeah, 16 rounds total. 3 seconds between 2-round burst, 70 seconds of reload time or something, but ooh, 0.5 seconds between the first shell and the second shell of the burst. But alright, 8 bursts, and this thing actually aims pretty quickly too, and accuracy is also not that bad. So it's like the SFAC 105 except on drugs and steroids. We already covered it, but yeah, this thing came out in Holiday Ops for last year without the skin. But yeah, leave it to the Russians to be to be better capitalisms and capitalistic style of selling you loot boxes with tier list. Actual new vehicle. It doesn't look like it, right? It doesn't look like it, but at like 300 meters, look the same as with its brother, the 277, but the object 278 slightly different than its counterpart. It's namely better bottom plate and the smaller engine deck. So funny how this thing also looks, but 130mm doesn't have a description for historical reference for now, but 130 packs 20 more alpha damage than the 277, funny enough, but DPM is actually kind of good. Accuracy, aim time is okay, not the worst. You can work with that, right? 2.4 seconds is okay, and 0.33 accuracy is not half bad too. I can work with that, but yeah, this thing is visually about the same as a 277 until you zoom in and see the actual details. But 5 degrees of gun depression, Russian. And does pack a punch. So here is the main difference. You'll see it once the collision model comes up. The bottom plate is about, oh Jesus, 270 to 280 to sometimes 300. I saw a 300 a little bit ago. Yeah, okay. It's not 300mm effective for the bottom plate on the 277, right? The best you could get is like 210 or something. Seems about right for the upper plate, but only in the middle. And the rest, auto bounce. Driver hatch is the weakest at 210 or so. At the sloping, but cupola is a little bit more prominent than the actual 277, even though there's still the periscope in front for the gunner. So technically that could eat the shot right here. Is that the gunner scope or the loader? But there is a scope right here, and that will eat the shot sometimes if you're trying to jam it into the cupola. But yeah, it's nowhere near that bottom plate on the 277. You wish. You wish it has that much bottom plate armor. Even the IS-7 doesn't have that much armor. It's like about 210. Oh, okay. At an angle. 230. Alright, fine. I'll give it 230. 210 or so. Fine. But, yeah. 210 on the upper plate. Okay. My mistake. Yeah, definitely a lot stronger armor on the hull than the brother, the 277. But the cupola is way more prominent and weaker. It's about 240-ish millimeters of a sliver on the 277, whereas on the 278 it's a lot bigger and only 180. So you're trading cupola armor for better hull armor. Is that a good trade, right? I mean, side armor wise, let's see the side armor for the chassis. It is a slight V shape above the tracks, so auto bounce. Still kind of flat for the actual track part of the side armor, but some parts are still auto pin, like the belly, but debatable. There's no space armor on this thing. Actually, there is 30mm space armor. 90 for the hull sides, though. Ooh. 10 comparison to 30? Wow, that is different. But yeah, it's basically cupola armor for hull front armor, right? And you could say that cupola might be a big turnoff, but think about it this way. The E5 has a cupola. The E5 performs better in onslaught than the Super Conqueror. Why? It moves about. It's a squirrel, right? You try to hit the cupola is a hard target if he's wiggling about. It's squirrel tactics, right? So yeah, it's a weak spot, but you have difficulty if he's jiggling and vibrating in place, in a sense. So give or take, but bottom plate is a lot bigger target. Obviously, having better hull front is a lot smaller area, right, to be shot at. So I'll make that trade. I'll make that trade for better hull armor in place of the cupola. But have you also noticed this? I also took a look beforehand, but the ass is also shaved off. It might not look like it, but this thing has a smaller ass than the 277. You'll see it right here. You see that? The toolbox is actually hiding nothing. There's no engine behind it. So it's actually smaller of an ass of an engine deck on the cross section. Technically, if you hit right here, there's nothing there. So yeah, the ass is actually smaller by a sliver, but still. Okay, that's funny. But at a distance, at 300 meters, look about the same, right? The vehicle looks about the same at a distance, but this thing is actually faster. about 20 horsepower per ton ratio with slightly better top speed by like 2. It's 55 or so. Yep, it's 55 on the 277 and about 17 horsepower per ton ratio. I only have improved hardening and vertical stabilizer with the rammer. So this thing has a rammer on. This does not have that DPM. This thing has a DPM without the rammer. So that is crazy. That is nuts when you think about it. Yeah, my stats are adjusted. All right, the base DPM is only 2400. This thing has better DPM by 300 with better mobility, better horsepower per ton ratio, better hull front. Yeah, more weak of a cupola, but it's still a small target if you're just jiggling about, right? If you're moving about. So this might be scary. As a breakthrough heavy tank, right? This might be scary. If this thing has no cupola weak spot, oh, it's chef kiss, right? Very oppressive. Or like 7 degrees of gun depression. But yeah, still Russian limiting factor of garbage gun depression. Still, it's very fast though. Alright, moving on. Oh boy. Holy crap. You thought the KV4s were big. No, not even close, son. This thing, the TET-100, maybe a brother to a T100Z or multi-turret T100 or something, right? But looks like a Mega Evolution KV3. KV3 on mega steroids. What the? Especially the turret. Holy crap. Tier 10 Russian heavy tank. They already have the Mouse and Kunik, which is about the same size, but this is getting there too. It's so big. God, it's massive. You thought the OIs, you thought the Type 5, Type 4 were big. No, not even close. 130mm auto reloader, what the hell? 3 round, 130. Holy crap. 4 seconds between each shot. DPM's okay for a super heavy, right? But it's like having 3 rounds of the IS-7 practically. Except in the span of 8 seconds, you are dumping out 1,500 alpha. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. You did not. What? Well, their KV4 does have the auto reloader, so does make sense to put it on a super heavy tank at tier 10, right? Crew of 6. But yeah, DPM's alright. Accuracy, aim time, Russian, good enough. 8 degrees gun depression, even though it's a tall vehicle, so alright. Shooting at the cupola is hard, right? If your vehicle is super tall. If you're playing something like a Leopard 1, you're not shooting the cupola if you're face hugging, right? You're shooting at the bottom plate or something, but yeah, it might has a cupola. You have to shoot at range and on a higher elevation than what the vehicle is being shot at, right? Oh god. What is this thing? Jesus. Alright. 2,900 health. The highest health for a tier 10 vehicle is the Mouse at 3,000. So this is getting there. This is close. The Type 5 did also got buffed to like 2,900 from the original like 2,800 or something, but I'm getting old. 2.0 buffed a lot of the vehicles, especially the Type 5, but yeah, they buffed it. Originally it was like 2,800, or I'm just misremembering. So a lot of health, but 280 turret front, 250 hull front. Oh Jesus. 250 bottom plate. It's sloped downwards slightly. Effectively, it's 320. Middle plate 250 still, but at a very strong angle. The weakest part is this nook for the driver. It has to be a spacious as hell driving compartment if the vehicle is so goddamn big. It's only 200. at about 240-ish, 250-ish millimeters effective. Yeah, you're shooting from down to up mostly if you're face hugging, but there's slightly weak strips underneath the gun, underneath the mantlet, but it's no. So yeah, even though the cupola might seems to be a weak spot, the vehicle is tall, right? You have to shoot at it at a distance, right? You cannot just face hug and shoot the cupola if you want. Yeah, if you're face hugging, it's hard to hit the cupola without shooting at the actual turret. So 180 hull sides, Jesus, with 40 millimeter space armor. Yeah, the tracks are 20. Side scraping too. Uh-oh, I see the downside. Engine deck exposed. It's 200 still, right? I mean, that's still okay. But that's a weak spot. Exposing the engine deck, elevated engine deck. And the main weak spot if you're side scraping. Or you can reverse side scrape. Oh no, you're exposing the front end of the elevated driver hatch. It cuts both ways. No, alright. It's still 200. From back to front. That's still crazy when you think about it, but alright, just unless they're a total idiot. Right, you can still commit to the side scraping. Like 45 degrees. That is crazy. That is so goddamn much armor, right? Also on the idle wheels. The nuts. The nuts. So, alright, it's just super heavy. Of course it is. 8.5 horsepower per ton ratio. Oh, Jesus. 25 kilometers per hour top speed. Weighs about 160-ish tons. The Type 5 is actually lighter? I'm getting old. Yeah, Type 5 is lighter. Ah, I knew it. I knew it. It's about the same weight as the Type 6 or so. Close enough. Close enough. No camo, 400 meters of view range. This is a big boy. What's surprising is the gun, right? You think, oh, 130 millimeter with about 500 alpha. That's not scary. After 4 seconds, it jams another shell into you. So, yeah, the Russian auto reloaders are scary, right? You can have 3 rounds ready, and the next shell after the 3 round is just normal reload of 13 seconds. So, okay. If you like the KV4s with the auto reloader, you will love this thing, right? We also have the KV4s with the auto reloader. Did we? Do we? I think we do, but they've been swept under the rug. This thing has the. I think this thing has the Turchenyov KV4. No, it's a single shot. Okay. Oh, the Russian version of this vehicle has the auto reloader. Right. This has a single shot. I know this thing has a single shot. We have a bunch of KV4s as well. Yeah, we don't have. No. Oh, I remember. I'm confusing the Object 265T with their 265T and their KV4. So if you like their KV4s, you will love this, whatever the hell this thing is. Jesus. There's more premium tanks and special tanks than actual normal tech tree vehicles. You have enough for another tech tree. No question. There's enough KV4s for a whole freaking spreadsheet. This is nuts. Alright, moving on. This is only tier 10. We haven't even touched the tier 11s. Ah, the Eisbär. The Eisbär. Polar bear. German tier 10. Rhinoceronte looking ass vehicle with the same machine gun that's on the Kampfpanzer 50T. Somewhat. But that's really like the Rhinoceronte, by the way. It's a German. It's a heavy. It's a tier 11. Versatile. 120 millimeter. Seems normal. High pen, high DPM. Very high DPM. And 13 degrees of gun depression. Holy crap. Aim time accuracy, pretty decent. If the armor holds up, right, for the mini turret, might be very scary. 4-man crew. Other than the 07 PE, there's not that many versatile German heavy tanks, especially at tier 10, right? Other than the assembly shop vehicle, German tier 10, 07 PE. Yeah, this is the only other versatile heavy. It plays like a super large Leopard 1. Leopard 1 on Mega Evolution. But this thing, 13 degrees gun depression. If it's all the way around the turret, then that's pretty good, right? That's very good. And DPM's high. 2600 health for a versatile is also pretty high. Normally, for stuff like versatile, it's about 2300, 2200, like with a can opener or super conqueror, right? They have the mobility and the armor, quote unquote, but not as much health. This thing has a butt ton of health, but then again, Russian server, Russian balancing. Let's see how good the actual armor is. Cupola. Mini turret armor sucks. No. Well, then again, 13 degrees does help hiding the mini turret in the back, right? You have to fully utilize the 13 degrees gun depression to hide the weak spot. Yeah. Turret front also might be weak on the cheeks. It's only 200mm and 180 at some parts. I saw a 180 somewhere. Oh, okay, it's slope 180. That doesn't count. Yeah, it's 200, so you have to fully utilize the gun depression. Upper plate is 130 sloped. Driver hatch is 200 sloped. At least it's reinforced for the driver hatch, which is good. Middle plate junction is about 250. Bottom plate is well sloped, 180 at about 250 also. So yeah, if you haul down meta, it's even better gun depression than the Kronwagen, right? 12 degrees compared to 13. That's crazy. I mean, originally on the super test, the Kronwagen has 15 degrees of gun depression, but it got nerfed. Side armor's crap. Side armor's real crap. Side skirts of 20, but only 50 underneath. It's always front towards enemy. Always front towards enemy. If this thing doesn't have the mini turret in the back, might be the best rhinoceronte out there. Might even be the best. Rhinocerontes suck. This thing has 50% more DPM than the rhinoceronte, which is nuts. But mobility wise, 18 horsepower per ton ratio, 56 kilometers per hour top speed. Pretty mobile for a heavy, right? Also, they have a special perk, don't forget. I have no idea what the special perk does. Has a reload mechanic, supposedly, but okay, press Alt. It reloads faster or something. At least press the bar and you get a buff. Similar to Onslaught with the charging, I think. Right? I don't know. But ooh. This is tier 11. Don't forget, it's not a tier 10. Not like this tier 10, but this thing is also pretty mobile. I cater it towards having engine power, but even with the special experimental equipment, it's only going up to 18. This thing already has 18 right off the bat with the better top speed to boot. So even faster with the equipment's on, right? But yeah, this thing doesn't have, well, there's a cupola, but it doesn't have the mini turret weak spot in the back. Okay. Alright. Eisbär. Kinda, yeah, the antithesis to the 𝗲𝘁. 𝗲𝘁 is just a fat ass double barrel German heavy tank. Or the TET-100. The TET-100 doesn't compare to the fear factor of a 𝗲𝘁, right? Okay. Champion. Can we have this after the Super Conqueror, right? We're missing the Super Conqueror tier 11 Mega Evolution. I'm just gonna call tier 11's Mega Evolution now. It's a It's almost a Falcon Griffin-esque of a turret design. Like a Falcon Challenger or the Griffin Chieftain, right? So kind of an unmanned turret, but you're sitting at the base of the turret. And it's a big gun. It's a 152? Holy crap. It's a single shot, not an auto-loader or auto-reloader, but that's a big gun for a British heavy tank. Yeah, it's a single shot. DPM could be better. Yeah, okay. It's 650 alpha though. Yeah, DPM's not scary enough, but Hesh round is there. 152mm Hesh with about 1000 alpha damage. So has that versatility going for it, but yeah, I mean, fire all the high explosive at the tank for gold shell, right? Alright. Let's see how good the actual armor is. 2700 health for a versatile, again, lots of health. Did I just compare the health of the Eisbär to the mouse? Okay, fine, close enough. Yep. Auto bounce turret front mostly, other than some parts of the view slits for the gunner and for the commander. Oh, you have to fully gun depress at 10 degrees. Gun elevation kind of sucks, but mostly gun depression you're using. Yeah, you have to hide the... Well, it's still there. The hatches for... No, the view slits for the gunner and the commander is still there, right? It's a little bulge. It's only 100mm. So, not exactly immune, like with the Eisbär, but... Yeah, okay. That's fine. If you're fully gun depressed, that should be fine-ish. Only 25 for the hull roof. Oh, you can overmatch the hull roof if you're tall enough. Or if you're close enough. Jesus. But the hull front is 290 sloped. Jesus. It's a strong hull front. And bottom plate is 165 sloped. I don't know if the turret is impenetrable, but you can still wiggle about, right, to throw off the shots. There are multiple weak spots here and there on the turret. Above the gun, it's only 140. You really have to gun depress. Well, that's independent though. Yeah, this bulge is the same as with the gun. It's not like it's moving about. You cannot hide it unless you're fully gun elevating, trying to hide this weak spot, but you're not hiding these two. So you're not fully immune to shots, but you have to wiggle about. Alright, side armor only 90, not the best at side scraping. Allied vehicles are not always the best at side scraping, right? Namely, it does have side skirts, but not too much. I would expect like at least 17 horsepower per ton ratio or 18, but 15 is fine. 14.7 and 40-ish kilometers per hour top speed. Camo, okay. And 410 meters of view range. Special mechanics, still the reload thing, I guess. Okay, for versatile. Alright. But the champion, coming after the Super Conqueror. Can you just strap a 152 to a Conqueror and just call it a day? That would be good too. Or just put the Challenger 1 in, right? One of my favorite vehicles is the Challenger 1. And what they did to it is putting the unmanned turret called the Falcon Challenger 1, which is pretty cool as well. We have that kind of thing with the Griffin and the Chieftain in a sense, but this is like somewhat like that, right? But alright. Kinda futuristic, modern-ish of design. And finally, the worst looking out of the tier 11s. Oh my god. ARL Projet F. We were just talking about modern looking vehicles, right? With unmanned turrets and sleek designs. This is not it. And this is also tier 11, by the way. Mega Evolution ARL 44. God damn. Oh my word. Yep. The French copies nobody. And nobody copies the French. God, it's so disgusting. I mean, it's not as bad as the Tractor series. They have the Tractor D. And originally there was like a Tractor A or Tractor B on the Super Test. But god damn, this is hideous. The French. I mean, you would expect like a Super AMX 50, right? Like a Project 57, just better. No, this is basically an ARL. Okay. 138. Autoloader. 3-round clip. 600 alpha damage. DPM is surprisingly high for an autoloader with high alpha. But, okay. 9 degrees gun depression. Kind of bad accuracy, but not the worst. Surprisingly, kind of quick turret traverse for an autoloader with a big gun. It's also 3 seconds between each shot, not like 6 or 5. Huh. ARL Project F. 6-man crew. 3,000 health. It's only 128 tons. It's not that heavy. Quote unquote. Let's see how good the armor is. Oh my god, this... At least 200 sloped hull front. 250 for the radio operator. Machine gun. Bulge. Cupola. 200 slope upwards. Yep. So it's like an E100 upper plate, in a sense. At an angle. 200. 340 for the turret front and the mantlet. Turret cheeks are 230 sloped. 40 for the roof of the hull. Yeah, could bounce slightly a little bit more shells than 30-ish. But sponsons are 300. That's good. You cannot have a crap sponson with archaic design of the tracks, right? It's similar to the ARL, similar to the B1, similar to the Churchill tanks, like intermediate war design of the sponsons with armor underneath the tracks. Or, yeah, you're getting detracked and penetrating into the armor. Now, this is only a lot better, right? 300 is a lot better than like 70 or 50 on the Churchills, which is, ugh. So you cannot get constantly detracked and damage the vehicle, but side armor is also 150. Surprisingly very thick. I mean, it's not crazy, but yeah, side scraping is off the charts as well, which is good. 30mm of side skirts, space armor. Track is 40. Some parts are 50mm space armor skirts, which is nuts. Alright. You're not expecting autoloaders from the TET-100, right? Or auto reloader or autoloader from these vehicles, but surprisingly these have autoloaders. Garbage camo, 11.7 horsepower per ton ratio, 30 km/h top speed. It seems like a lot of the tier 11s, on Lesta anyways, right, are massive super heavies. Even the tier 10s are massive super heavies. Whereas we get like a can opener to the whatever the hell that thing is, right? At tier 11. You don't contriver, content, or whatever. You don't even see it. Compared to the T803, right? T803 is a very modern-esque of an MBT-70-ish of a playstyle. It's not a super heavy like this thing. This is archaic in design. This is the Mouse and Kunik of the French. This is... God damn it. That super massive chunk of metal, right? That's what you're thinking of with archaic design. One airplane, one bomber nuked the crap out of these vehicles. No question, right? You're sitting ducks against anything other than tanks, right? You're sitting ducks against infantry, which just crawls around and just sticky bomb the crap out of your hull roof or engine deck, right? You're sitting duck against like airplanes or naval shells, just naval bombardment. You're just basically a pillbox at that point without range. But hey, it's World of Tanks, not World of Combined Arms. This thing is freaking massive. So yeah, there you go, folks. But yeah, if you like the track, I think the Tractor D came out for assembly shop on the Lesta version of smaller assembly shop, but this thing's also a freaking travesty of this. What is this? Has a duck turret, a stock AMX-40 duck turret on the back end. God, this thing is so bad. Bad looking. It's a big caliber gun too. It's like a 128, 130. Of course it is. But yeah, alright, there you go, folks. Another long video. But yeah, it's surprising how some of the Russian, like 3 of the vehicles at high tier are super heavies. That's a super heavy. Mouse and Kunik, super heavy. The Project F thing, super heavy. It's not as heavy, granted, but well, there you go, folks. Well, yeah. It's like when you're playing the original OIs at tier 6 and you're faced off against a KV-1. You're just like, what the hell am I going to do with a KV-1 against an OI? No, nothing. But as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
На границе тучи ходят, курят.